Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick testified this week in front of Senator Susan Collins and the Senate Appropriations Committee at a budget hearing. Collins, who chairs the committee, questioned Lutnick on regulations placed on Maine's lobster industry. Collins noted in 2022 the Biden administration proposed regulations that posed a threat to the industry. If implemented, she said it would have shut it down. Maine's delegation and Governor Mills stepped in to oppose and successfully blocked the regulations for now. Collins questioned Lutnick on President Trump's new executive order to restore gold standard science. The administration says it is the cornerstone of federal scientific research and will rebuild public trust in science.
Can you talk to us about how you believe that this new approach to regulation based in science will help protect the Maine fishing industry and our lobster industry from arbitrary and capricious regulations, as the court found was done in the previous administration?
This administration views the Maine lobster industry as an American treasure, and we need to protect it. We think this capricious lack of rigor in our science has got to end. So the gold standard executive order saying only real science, not opinion-based science, has to be the rule, so we protect our fishermen, we protect our ranchers, right? These are key things that this administration is going to drive for.
The fiscal year budget proposes $8.5 billion in discretionary funding for the Department of Commerce.